So guys, I have a couple more special cases that I want to discuss with you. One special case is farther, farthest, and further and furthest with A and with U respectively. And I learned that we use farther with A when we talk about distance, when we are referring to distance, and we use further with U when we refer to distance and time. I gotta say that further with you and furthest with you is used nowadays more like with the meaning of additional, moreover, in those terms. Like when I say, do you have any further questions? Yes, any further questions? That's with you, that's any additional questions. Now, I want to show you the examples. I won't go any further. Tell me where you're taking me. This example wants to focus on distance, not on the time that is being employed to get to wherever you're taking the person, but to the distance. Oh, and a famous one, if I take one more step, I'll be the farthest from home I've ever been. From the Lord of the Rings, right? When Sam tells Frodo that he has never been so far away from his home. I'll be the farthest. That refers only to distance, not to time. And example with further and furthest with you. I wonder which of you can swim the furthest. That implies not only distance, but also time. The further I traveled was when I went to New Delhi. It took almost a whole day to get there. Now, in this case, it's not only the distance, it's basically on the other side of the world from our country, but also on time, right? It focuses not only on distance, but also on time. That's further, farthest, furthest. And now let's talk about nearest and next. Nearest refers to closeness, and next refers to order, to organization, right? Where's the nearest restroom? You are interested in closeness, right? I mean, you need to go, right? So where's the nearest restroom? The next time I will do the talking. The next time I will do the talking. You shut up, you don't say anything because you got us into trouble, right? So this refers to order, not about closeness. So that's the difference between nearest and next. And guys, those were some special cases that I wanted to show you regarding the comparatives and the superlatives degrees of some adjectives. And now I want to talk to you about the kinds of adjectives. We have several kinds of adjectives that, we have classified. It doesn't mean that there are no other classifications, but this should work as a guide for our work in this topic. So in this classification, I have made 8 different kinds, or I have found out, to be honest, about 8 different kinds of adjectives. They are adjectives of quality, also called descriptive adjectives, which are by far the most common kind of adjective that we can find. Then we have adjectives of quantity, demonstrative adjectives, interrogative adjectives, emphasizing adjectives, exclamatory adjectives, possessive and indefinite adjectives. So let's talk about them. So we have adjectives of quality. They allow you to describe a noun. Nina is a pig-headed person. Once she makes up her mind, no matter what you say, she will not change her opinion. Vanessa Jimenez is quite tall. So anything that you can say about a person or a thing regarding appearance or personality, that's going to be an adjective of quality. So because you use them to describe the noun. That's why I tell you and I insist, adjectives of quality or descriptive adjectives are the most common kind of adjective that you will find. Then we have adjectives of quantity. They tell you how many people or how many things are meant or in which order they are. I earned $5 in 30 minutes yesterday. $5. How many dollars? 5. In how many minutes? 30. So these are adjectives of quantity. Walter was 7th place in the race. So Walter ran very hard, he trained a lot, and he could achieve the 7th place. I am talking about the order in which he arrived to the goal, right? Now, if you may be wondering, teacher, if I say I earned some dollars in 30 minutes yesterday, is some also an adjective of quantity? No, some is not an adjective of quantity. Some is an indefinite adjective. It would be an adjective of quantity if we were clear on the number, right? Then we have demonstrative adjectives. These are not new for you. We have 4 demonstrative adjectives, and you gotta be careful not to confuse these demonstrative adjectives with demonstrative pronouns. We studied this topic last period. I think we are not going to have any trouble understanding the difference between them. So these ships will sail to Cuba. This is a demonstrative adjective. It's modifying ships. Giovanni likes that girl around the punch bowl. That girl. Those coats are not very warm. Those coats. Would you pass this ball around? This ball. So demonstrative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives. Similarly to the previous case, you gotta be careful not to confuse this with interrogative pronouns. The interrogative adjective accompanies the noun, right? It has to accompany a noun. So, for example, which boy? I have which accompanying boy. I am not only asking with the word which. See, if I asked only with the word which, if I said, for example, which do you want? Then that would be an interrogative pronoun. Which boy do you want to dance with, Jocelyn? Interrogative adjective because it's modifying boy. What time was it when you heard the news? What is modifying time. What color do you prefer? What is an interrogative adjective modifying color. Which classes has that old man registered for? Which classes? And then we have emphasizing adjectives. You'll see emphasizing adjectives are only 2. We have on and we have very. Be careful. Do not mistake very as an adjective with very as an adverb. 2 weeks ago, the very smell of bread made her nauseous. Very, in this case, it only helps me to emphasize the word smell. So in Spanish, it would say something like, hace 2 semanas, el mismo olor del pan le daba náuseas. O hace 2 semanas, el mismísimo olor a pan, el mero olor a pan le daba náuseas. Shona destroyed the evidence with her own hands. Shona destruyó la evidencia con sus propias manos. Yeah, of course she destroyed the evidence with her own hands. They are her hands, right? So we don't really need these adjectives over there. They are used only for emphasis. We want to transmit, a feeling of emphasis, right? This phenomenon when we want to clarify something, when we want to make sure that our interlocutor understands what we are trying to say. Berta's own kids have broken a neighbor's window. The very thing you complain about, corruption, is the one you commit yourself. You will notice that if you take out these adjectives, there won't be any change in meaning. So That's another clue that you can follow in order to decide if on and very are acting as emphasizing adjectives. Exclamatory adjectives, well, we only have an exclamatory adjective, which is the word what, and there are very limited cases in which we use this word in this way, and it's common that we use an exclamation point in these cases. What a blessing, what a woman, what a goal, what a burger, what a day, right? But I can also say, for example, what eyes. So be careful. It's not only like what a. We don't need to use that a all the time. I am using it here because the word that follows is an uncountable singular word. But if it were a countable plural word, I don't use a. What eyes? Que ojos, right? And those are exclamatory adjectives. And a note, please don't use multiple exclamation points, especially academically. Well, academically we shouldn't use exclamation points. It's not a good idea. Many composition teachers don't approve of using exclamation points in composition, and especially don't use multiple exclamatory points. That's not a good idea. Okay, next we have possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives, they are not new for us. We are familiar with them. Possessive adjectives are, for example, my, your, his, her, our, right? And they show possession or ownership, and you gotta be careful. Remember not to confuse these adjectives with possessive pronouns. Check these examples. Our water fountain was stolen yesterday by some gangbangers. Our water fountain. That's a possessive adjective. It's an adjective that modifies fountain. Have you seen their moonshine? There is modifying moonshine. Moonshine is like we would say in Spanish, well, in Salvadorian Spanish, I would say chaparro. That is our moonshine. It's alcohol that we create, that we make in an art, I don't know the word in English, to be honest, de manera artesanal. Where is my Bible? My Bible shows the possession for this noun. His car has broken down. His car has broken down. Those are possessive adjectives. They show possession, they show ownership, and I am missing one more class of adjectives, which would be the indefinite adjectives. Indefinite adjectives correspond to the indefinite pronouns. That is to say, many indefinite adjectives are also indefinite pronouns. The same principle applies. Check, make sure that the word some, for example, can be an indefinite pronoun, but if it modifies a noun, then it's not a pronoun anymore. Like in this case, Kevin got some homies in Spain. Some is modifying homies. Every child must have their flu shots. Every is modifying child. Neither door was locked. Neither modifying door. Can you see any clear to set camp? Any is modifying clear. And in the lesson you can find, of course, in the list of indefinite pronouns you can find the indefinite adjectives. So if you want to go and learn more about them, you can check this lesson as well. Okay guys, in the next video I will talk to you about some special considerations regarding derivational morphology and how it is important for the creation and the understanding of adjectives. Peace out.